prayer. Father, we thank you for all the many blessings in our lives, and thank you for your mercy at work for us each and every day. Please be with our board this evening as we work through the agenda and help us to make the best decisions for all our citizens. Father, at this beautiful Easter time, we thank you for the sacrifice of your Son so we might live through him. All these things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the minutes.
I'll motion to approve the minutes.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Public comment?
Thank you, Commissioners. I'm Loretta Costin. I'm with Gulf Coast State College, and I want to take just a moment of your time this evening to talk with you about some of the activities the college is planning for Franklin County in April. As you may know, our college serves Franklin County, Gulf, and Bay County, and we as a college want to do a better job, quite frankly, of reaching out to Franklin County, to Carrabelle.
So we can get it loud and recorded.
Is that better? Okay, so let me start just briefly again. I'm Loretta Costin with Gulf Coast State College, and as you probably know, our college serves Franklin County, Gulf County, and Bay County, and we as a college want to do a better job of serving Franklin County, and particularly Carrabelle and the area a little east, because we know we may have not have done that in the past. And so during the month of April, we're going to make a focused effort to be here and to get information from the citizens of Franklin County in terms of what programs that they might be interested in, what times would be better for them. And we want to do that in a couple of different ways. First of all, we're going to have a survey so that we can ask folks what it is they need and want the college to offer in Franklin County. Again, what day of the week, what would be most convenient for them. Those surveys are going to be both paper surveys. We have 16 locations throughout Franklin County. In fact, I just dropped some off here at City Hall this afternoon, and the collection boxes so folks can fill them out and return them. We will also have it online if anyone wants to do it online. So we want to get those surveys out and back so we can find out what folks need from us. We'll also be doing 3 public meetings in Franklin County during the month of April. One of those will be here in Carrabelle at the Carrabelle Public Library on April the 23rd from 5:30 to 6:30. So if you can help us get the word out, we really want to get feedback, and then we'll be able to put some programs and classes and courses together and bring those over here and actually offer them here so that you don't, and the citizens do not have to drive even to Port St. Joe, but much less to Panama City. So we just wanted to be here and let you know we're involved in doing that, particularly the month of April. You'll see ads in the paper, you'll see radio spots. So just your help in getting the word out and getting some of those surveys back in. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Costin.
Hello, it's that time of year again, April. April comes showers and festivals, and so I just want to announce that on the 24th and 25th of April, we'll be having our 25th annual Carrabelle Riverfront Festival, and along with that, we'll also be celebrating the 5th year of Pirates of the Carabellian, which has kind of become a sub-theme where we do some stuff for kids and have some entertainment and the signage and so forth. And then we're also delighted to have a new edition from last year repeat with kind of the second annual Carrabelle Antique Car Show. And so all of these different components kind of make up what we're doing this year. I want to talk just a little bit, just to mention some of the support and participants in the festival. from the community, both financial and in terms of participation. The Franklin County Tourist Development Council that provides media and advertising and support financial for the advertising. Last year's new introduction of Gullis Cove that was brought to us by Seacrest Realty and Sandy Beach Properties. Some of Innovia, one of the clients that works for the city to do work. ECT, also a group that works for the city. In terms of, I'm sure I'm forgetting, Weems Hospital, Centennial Bank, also are traditional sponsors for the festival. In addition to the sponsors, we appreciate their contributions a whole lot. One of the things that we're proudest of is the contribution from different groups in the city, like the Senior Citizen Center, the Carrabelle Artists Association, the churches and nonprofits, Christian bow hunters and stuff that do food down there, the Carrabelle Artists Association, and I'm sure I'm going to leave a few of these out, but the point being that our 25th annual festival will be a community effort. Appreciate all that the city does. It is your festival. I just want to invite you down to have a good time. And it'll be going the 24th of April from 4 in the afternoon till 8 in the evening, and the 25th of April from 10 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock in the evening. Does anyone have any questions?
I know you have a new location for your reception
Yes.
for the vendors.
And one of the most exciting things about this year's festival, one of the unique things that this community has done, and it's the only festival that I've ever heard a vendor tell me does this very thing, and that is we host a vendor reception. And for years we've been doing this, whether it's been at Harry's courtyard where we throw down a spread of food and invite our guests to come to visit us and sell their arts and crafts to have dinner, and usually the festival and the chamber or some other group hosts that event, plans that event, gets sponsorships from restaurants and so forth to do that event. This year, we could not be happier with the host for this year's event. It's going to be sponsored in part by the Waterfront Festival, in part by the Chamber of Commerce, but more importantly, it's going to be hosted by Christie's Cottage Antiques, Christie's Cottage Living, excuse me, who are opening up the new business next to the drugstore. And they are going to have our guests in and some members of the chamber and have a little meet and greet on Friday evening for their guests that come in. One of the reasons, for several reasons, we're rearranging some things on the festival. I'll finish this up real quick, I know I have things to cover. The car show is now going to be in front of the festival, in front of the drugstore, in front of Christie's Cottage Living. And when people come in from parking their cars and get across 98 with their 5 kids and the buggies and all those things, they'll have a chance to stop and kind of relax and take a breath and look at the wonderful cars that are from our community and hopefully many from beyond. Then our biggest event this year will be what happens on Avenue B. We anticipate having kind of a historic expo, an experience of different nature exhibits and craftspeople and exhibitors and FWC and all the different agencies and stuff. And we're going to have a really, really interesting arrangement of exhibitors to make that a special place this year and hopefully move on. In the same way that we created Gullis Cove last year, this is kind of the signature piece this year. But I know that everyone here is happy that the Christies are opening a business, and we look forward to helping them succeed. Any other questions? Thank you.
Any other public comment? All right. Commissioner report. Commissioner La Paz.
Yes, thank you. I want to report on the Franklin County's debris policy that they're going to begin implementing. It's a right-of-way debris removal policy. The county, and I did speak with Alan Pierce about it, and right now the county picks up debris 1 week each month in the city limits of Carrabelle, and the county is completing a countywide cleanup of all debris right now. But their policy that they're going to be implementing, and I've passed it out to the commissioners and Dan, it lists debris that's eligible for pickup, and eligible pickup includes tree trimmings, bushes, leaves, grass clippings, pine straw, yard furniture, fences, and broken lumber. The counties will also pick up some household goods like rugs, small appliances, mattresses, refrigerators, freezers, stoves, washers, and dryers. And this is pretty generous. But the county is not going to be picking up what they call ineligible debris. And that would be anything like construction materials, shingles, cut boards, sheet rocks, bricks, demolition debris from a structure or building like walls and roofs, flooring, slabs, outbuildings, any major land clearing debris, large trees, stumps, underbrush, that's been cleared or where they've cleared a big property. Any major trees, they won't pick that up. They're not going to pick up household hazardous waste like paint and oil, pesticides, chemicals. They're no longer going to pick up tires and car batteries, car parts, abandoned vehicles, abandoned boats. I've seen boats put out on the right of way for pickup. No clothes and no junk. As well, any large pieces of debris, no matter whether it's eligible or ineligible, anything that's over 4 feet in length or 6 inches in diameter, the county is not going to pick up once they make their county-wide cleanup. They say they'll be advertising this in the paper. So, they say that removal of ineligible debris shall be the responsibility of the property owner, and that the property owner or the resident needs to transport their own debris, ineligible debris, to the landfill. So when the county stops picking up this ineligible debris in Carrabelle, the city's going to either be responsible to pick that up and deliver it to the landfill, or the city's going to have to support the county's policy. And I'm just reporting this to you now. I talked with the county administrator about it, and I asked Mr. Pierce, does he suspect that the county might charge the city a tipping fee for this ineligible debris if we pick it up and deliver it there? And he said that would be an issue that the commissioners the county commissioners are going to discuss. So I just wanted to let everyone know this is an evolving situation, and this could be an increased cost to the taxpayers.
Are they doing away with the amnesty day?
No, you still have Amnesty Day, and they encourage everyone to use Amnesty Day. And it actually says that here on their policy.
Wacoa County has a prisoner crew that follows the truck.
Beth, I can't hear you.
My question
Is that Wacoa County has a prisoner crew that follows the truck, and anything the truck, because the truck picks up, but then they leave stuff, and then they clean it up, and then they take it away, or someone takes it away. Would that be a possibility here?
We already do that.
What they're saying, like these things, a lot of these things, the county has to haul off to Bay County or somewhere else that takes hazardous debris. They have to haul all their tires somewhere else. So they're saying they're not going to be taking that debris anymore. It's taking the large debris, it's taking a toll on their vehicles, and it's costing the county money to have to dispose of it. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And thank you, Courtney, or Commissioner, and happy Easter.
That's your report?
Yes, sir. Is that okay?
Sure.
Was it
sure.
good enough? All right.
We might want to have to consider something ourselves, because if the cost goes on to the city,
Mhm.
then we got something else to pay.
Mhm.
So we might need to consider something along
Just
those
bringing it
lines.
to your attention.
I don't
All
have
right.
anything.
Commissioner Massey?
I don't have anything.
All right. We have two commissioners who are sick. Commissioner Mathis and Mayor Messer. What I'd like is a motion to forgive them their absence, because we need that for the record. To forgive them for their sickness and go on, because you can only miss so many meetings.
Right.
With forgiveness, it's okay.
So I'll motion at this time to forgive the Mayor Messer and Commissioner Mathis for their illnesses this evening.
Okay. I have a motion.
I'll second
Have a second? All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Okay. Waterfront Partnerships. EDC.
Did you skip another?
Yes.
You want them to go first?
Who am I skipping?
We can go next. Cameron.
That's because he wasn't here last.
I didn't have you on there. I didn't have you on there. I need to have my glasses on.
Well, good evening, everybody. I've got less than 5 minutes to give you all this good news. We had the Waterfront Partnership Environmental Protection Team met with individuals from the state of Florida Department of Environmental Protection, as well as the regional office of the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, their federal funding agency, concerning how to pay for the cleanup of the petroleum that was found in the old water plant. And what they found was basically petroleum from filling the gas tank to run the generator has percolated down into the water table. And initially they thought it was just on the ground, but when they went back and did their phase 2, based on what they found with phase 1, they found that it had actually gone into the water table. So there has to be a particular cleanup addressed at that property. And so they are all looking for ways for somebody else to pay for it, of course, and that's our goal, is to get other people to pay for things that we need to get done. And one of the particular concerns is that the strongest concentration of the findings were under the building there beside the water plant that's referred to as the Sugar Shack. And it's the concrete block building that we're currently using mostly for storage. And so there's some discussion, and they're going to wait until they finish the next level of tests to determine whether they actually need to, there's somewhere to shore up the building and get down underneath it, or if it might at some point be required that they would just take the building down. So that's still under discussion based on whatever the next level of findings are. But it was very encouraging that we got people here, not only from the Water District, we got people at our meeting from the City of Tallahassee has a regional cleanup fund that they can do mold, asbestos, and lead paint. So even if, for example, there's some findings, not any findings based on the building of the water plant itself, but if it had asbestos ceiling tiles or if it has lead paint, then there is a source that we can go to perhaps get that cleaned up. So all that, we're continuing to be patient and let them explore the options. They seem very excited about helping us, which is kind of a different way of looking at government help. And the other thing I wanted to report for those of you that weren't able to be there, the Carrabelle History Museum held a symposium for Archaeology Month on the first people of Carrabelle, and there were over 100 people in attendance, which just made us extremely pleased and boggled our mind that we had all those people here that came from as far as Port St. Joe and Tallahassee and different places, and we are very, very grateful for the generous support of the city and the city of Apalachicola and the TDC and Visit Florida, as well as support from our public library here in Appalachia. So it was a very well attended and people were very pleased with it, and it was
better than we could have ever imagined. And then the only other piece of serious business is that, to let you know that we opened bids for the renovations, Phase 2 renovations of City Hall on the 19th of last month. And there were only 2 bids. One of them was way over the limit of the funds, and the other one was under the limit. So we're recommending that Oliver Sperry, which was the company that did Phase 1 renovations on the building, that they be selected for that work. And based on the outcome of that decision tonight, they're ready to start. So it's basically, if you remember, it's to clean and repaint and seal and repaint the exterior of the old City Hall. So we'll need a motion from you all to accept that bid.
Okay, may I ask what the bid, can I ask what bid quote, the bid price is?
Courtney's got the official
Just
papers.
for
I'll
public
just,
record.
Yeah.
I think it was 48. The whole grant was $50,000 and $8,000, so it's 42, right around 40, 42. But I'm,
You know where it's at?
no, I'm sorry, I don't, and I didn't bring that file. I could look it up somewhere in here, I'm sure. I feel like it's $40,000 and change. It wouldn't be that I could look up and find it. I'm sorry, I don't have that right with me here.
$40,278.
That was it. And I can give, I've got the scope of work here, but I didn't have that.
Okay, may I make a motion?
Sure.
Okay, I would like to motion that Oliver Sperry, contractor, be awarded the contract to do the exterior repairs on the old City Hall Museum, the old Carrabelle Museum.
I have a motion
I'll second.
and a second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
That's great.
And they're going to start
Thank
on it
you.
right away.
Thank you for working on it, bringing the grant.
No bid?
All right, thank you. There was a fee paid to the Water Management District, and I believe you passed a resolution last week which would allow for that fee to be returned to you. So if you haven't already received it, you will be receiving a check for $1,000 from the Water Management District. That should be forthcoming. On the US 98 landscape grant, that project is working towards completion. We did issue a change order number 2 for the triangle area, the Welcome Park area. So the contractor will begin work on that shortly. And that portion is not funded by the DOT program, as we mentioned in the previous meetings. We have some funding requests for the Carrabelle and Landmark intertie of the water system and for the reuse extension into the city. Those are CBER requests, and we're monitoring approval and award those. We have a few other CRA projects which I won't get into, but the Avenue B resurfacing is one of those which I see is on the agenda. So we'll talk about that later. I'll be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Attorney's report.
I have none.
Will you be following up with us on the letter we all received today?
I will. I've had an initial discussion with the property appraiser, and I will report back to the commission at the next meeting.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, we have a public hearing on a resolution.
That's Mr. Curt Blair has the resolution with him.
You have this in the packet?
I received it as an email. I don't have it with me. The actual resolution has been amended for the city. But I will say that Mr. Curt Blair wrote this resolution. It's beautiful with the help of Ms. Janalyn Dowden and Commissioner Massey. So it's a lovely resolution.
Curt, can you use the microphone?
Sure. Yeah. I don't quite know where to start with this. Turning on the microphone would be the first thing to do. Commissioners, 3 or 4 weeks ago, Commissioner Massey brought up the possibility at a county commission meeting to look towards designation of portions of the highway in memorials for preserving veterans. And I had the honor of having the chance to research this and help with it. I wanted to thank Janalyn because she helped me a lot with some of the background information. And we have with us, of course, tonight, Ms. Millender, who's the sister of the recipient of the memorial. Would you like to?
I'll try.
Okay, there you go.
I think most of you, maybe Brenda didn't know Cliff, but Cliff was born and raised here in Carrabelle, drafted into the military and sent to Vietnam. And he got wounded about a month after he got to Vietnam. And when they told Mom that he had been wounded and he wasn't going to make it, she had a stroke and passed away, actually before he died of his wounds. He never regained consciousness. And in 46 years, we really didn't know what had happened other than he'd been wounded and lived in a coma a few months and passed away. But last summer, I have a nephew in Tallahassee that's named after him. And last summer, someone contacted Cliff Jr., I'll say, through Facebook and asked was he related to Cliff Millender from Carrabelle that was killed in Vietnam. And he turned over all the information to my brother Larry. And Larry got in touch with a man named Ken Boeri, but he emailed back and said that he was the sergeant in my brother Cliff's platoon, and that they were coming back from a mission on a beautiful, calm morning, and Cliff had made it across the creek, a muddy creek, but he got into the line of fire when he went back to help someone. He got into the line of fire when he was trying to help someone else across the muddy creek. Yes, he died a hero. And not only did we lose him, but we lost Mom at the same time. And I think this would be a wonderful thing to name part of the highway after him. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Janalyn Dowden, you know me, and I'm a native of Carrabelle and a property owner, and I would like to recommend that you do this resolution to honor Cliff Millender for his dedication and service. And he also was awarded a Purple Heart because he, from what I have been told, was going back and bringing people that have been wounded to the helicopter to save lives. I think it would be a very good thing. And we're asking, which Blair has been working with the legislature, and he knows more about the legal side of it, so he'll explain that to you. But we want to put the sign at the foot of the bridge by Ryan Drive and go all the way to 12th Street East on that side of town, and dedicate that part of the road to him.
Commissioners, what you have before you is a resolution that is required by the state to move these memorials through the legislative process. We've been very fortunate in working with Senator Mumford's office and Representative Bashir's office. They've just been delightful, and their staff, Marsha Matheson and Vicki Summerhill, have just been phenomenal in helping us through this process. I'll tell you that this morning, the two transportation committees, the one in the Senate and one in the House, adopted their bill for memorials and included SP4 Millender in the memorial designations. That will now go to, there are a couple of other committees that each of them have to go to, and then it'll be brought before the floor in a couple of weeks. And we're hopeful to have enough notice so that members of the family can be there when the Senate takes the bill up on the floor. The designation would, as Janalyn said, would run from Ryan Drive and West 11th Street through town to northeast, south, and southeast 12th Street on the eastern end of the city. And the resolution has some of the pertinent information Mr. Millender and what he went through with regards to his injuries. And so we bring it to you. It's necessary for the local government to pass a resolution, the government that the roadway's in, to pass a resolution authorizing then DOT to erect the signage that would go with it. And we would expect 2 signs dedicating the highway to SP4 Millender, and one would be at the beginning and one would be at the end. So we
Okay,
take
well,
that.
I'd like to mention that Mr. Clifford Millender has also, Robert Clifford Millender, has some living brothers and sisters here in Carrabelle, along with Miss Nita Millender-Mosby, Shirley Millender-Massey, and Gary Millender, and Larry Millender, and then Sister Josephine Millender-Underdown lives in North Carolina, and then brother Gordon Millender lives in Crawfordville. And I was going to ask if one of his half-million nieces, Miss Courtney Millender-Dempsey, read the resolution.
A resolution of the City of Carrabelle City Commissioners in support of designating a 2-mile portion of U.S. Highway 98 west of the Carrabelle River Bridge in memory of United States Army Specialist 4 Technician Robert Clifford Millender, requesting that the Florida Department of Transportation designate a 2-mile portion of U.S. Highway 98 beginning at the western terminus of the Carrabelle River Bridge in Franklin County, Florida, as the SP4 Robert Clifford Cliff Millender Memorial Highway, providing for the transmittal, providing for an effective date. Recitals. Whereas Specialist 4 Technician Robert Clifford Millender was born in Carrabelle, Florida on February 13, 1948, attended and graduated from Carrabelle High School in 1966, having been an all-around athlete in baseball, football, basketball, and track. And whereas SP4 Millender, having been drafted into the U.S. Army in 1968 and receiving basic training in Fort Benning, Georgia, qualifying as a marksman rifle M14 and marksman rifle M16, and serving his country bravely in the 9th Infantry Division in Vietnam, beginning in February of 1969. And whereas on March 3, 1969, SP4 Millender, upon returning safely from engagement with the enemy in nighttime ambush conflict, returned under fire to aid and assist a fellow American soldier when he was hit by enemy fire. And whereas following the mission and injury, SP4 Millender remained in a coma until January 14, 1970, when he succumbed to the injuries received in battle. And whereas SP4 Millender was awarded the Purple Heart, the National Defense Service Medal, the Vietnam Service Medal, and the Republic of Vietnam Campaign Medal with 1960 bar device. And whereas the Board of City Commissioners of City of Carrabelle desire to recognize and honor SP4 Robert Clifford Millender's memory by having a 2-mile portion of US 98 extending west, beginning at the western terminus of the Carrabelle River Bridge, dedicated to his memory. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of City Commissioners that 1, the Board hereby expresses its support in designating the aforementioned section of U.S. Highway 98 in Franklin County, Florida to be known as SP4 Robert Clifford Millender Memorial Highway. Number 2, the Board requests that the Florida Department of Transportation perform designation of the 2-mile section of U.S. Highway 98 beginning at the western terminus of the Carrabelle River Bridge in honor of SP4 Robert Clifford Millender, and that FDOT place and maintain appropriate markers. 3, that the City Clerk is hereby directed to provide a copy of this resolution to the Franklin County Legislative Delegation and the Florida Department of Transportation. passed and duly adopted the second day of April 2015, City of Carrabelle.
Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Have a motion for approval.
And I'll second that motion to support this resolution.
Okay, all in favor? All
Aye.
opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Okay, proclamation on the cleanup of Carrabelle.
All right, this is a City of Carrabelle Proclamation 01-2015. Whereas the Carrabelle River is the heart of the City of Carrabelle, whereas April is Carrabelle River Cleanup Month, whereas April 24th and 25th is Carrabelle Riverfront Festival, whereas the entire City of Carrabelle is in the watershed of the Carrabelle River, whereas keeping the watershed clean protects our drinking water, improves the waters we work in, and helps the waters we play in, whereas a clean community adds to the quality of our life. Therefore, we, the City Commission of Carrabelle, do hereby proclaim April as Clean Up Carrabelle Month. Affirmed and signed this day, Thursday, April 2, 2015, by action of the Carrabelle City Commission. It'd simply be a motion and a vote to make this proclamation.
Okay, you need a motion for that?
Please.
Need a motion.
Okay, I'll motion for this proclamation number 012015 to clean up Carrabelle.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor? All
Aye.
opposed? Motion carried. All right, let's see, we're on to new business. Discussion of early childhood education needs in our area, presented by Selena Winchester.
Hello, I appreciate your time today. The main purpose, is this on? The main purpose of this meeting, the main purpose of my coming here is I was approached about childcare in the vicinity, and let me start. My name is Selena Winchester. I'm a Florida State Certified Professional Educator endorsed with infant care and pre-K through 12th grade special education qualifications. I do have a copy of my resume and some references here. For anyone curious or interested, recently I was approached about childcare and the possibility of my interest in helping our community. I'm always interested in helping our community and improving the quality of childcare, especially in our own community. There is a serious need for a child care facility in Carrabelle, Franklin County, Florida. The nearest services are Apalachicola, 30 miles west of here. There's one child care facility that cares for 2 years old and up and does not take infants. And then there is an early Head Start in Appalachia that does take infants. In East Point, there is one Head Start at the new main campus of school, and they do not take infants. It's only 3- and 4-year-olds. And Sop Choppy has a VPK program for 4-year-olds. There's no daycare there. About 5 years ago, for almost 3 years ago, I had a successful child care facility while the Head Start was still open and operating completely in Carrabelle. Now parents are not sending their children to the Head Start in East Point. They do not have the funding for gas to go back and forth on a daily basis, and they don't want their babies on buses with big kids, which includes the middle school and high school children. The Nest offers free aftercare in Carrabelle, but those are for school-age students, and they also have a free summer program. I know that their aftercare program is not regulated by the state because anything for 4 hours and under does not have to be regulated, so they're just being overseen by the school. The parents, there's a handful of parents that aren't happy with the Nest. I've heard a few tell me that they would pay if there was an alternative. Children, including my own, refuse to attend the Nest due to the staff yelling constantly. There's one who's struggling with her 2 baby girls at different places for whoever can watch them, and she must leave work early every day around 3:30 because they can't or don't want to watch her girls past that time. I've done research on why the Carrabelle Head Start closed.
According to the Capital Area Community Action Agency Head Start Supervisor, Angela, consolidating their 2 campuses was an important move due to their budgeting and funding situations. There was in no way any less students or clients than there had been. Their decision was purely based on the new accommodations at the new school campus. The East Point Head Start had to close and relocate as well to the new school campus. So both Head Starts closed to get into the campus. I wanted to share why early education is so important. Real quick, there are, besides myself, there's about 5 other women that are ready to give their all to help the community if the opportunity arises. Most of these women, we've all raised our children and are ready to make a positive difference in the lives of our community. Of course, if there was a facility, it would have to be reasonable, affordable fees, monthly, weekly, daily, and offer the children creative ways to have fun and learning in a stable, educational, and good environment. Youth in our community are being cared for in homes with daily life goings on. Many homes are not child-proof and even dangerous, and a stable routine of full-time educational stimulation is lacking. Parents are the children's first teachers and therefore the most important part of their lives. There are many opportunities. When we give children some play opportunities, they develop some specific individual areas of development. But when we give them many opportunities, they can develop many in several different areas. It's important to have a balanced media diet. There are recent studies that show how early education across the nation is getting a lot of attention and national awareness because they are noticing that there's a diminishing risk of social and emotional mental health problems in children that are educated in the early stages. And they are more self-sufficient as adults. Visual stimulus and response as early as 3 months can be an indicator of verbal and performance IQ levels at 4 years old. So if you're stimulating a baby and caring for them properly, or extras, giving them a lot of opportunities, they're going to be that much more ready to learn and sponge in all that we have to offer them in the future. A lot of, and not to say that anybody's care is good or bad, but if, according to all of the nation, they're saying that the nation is starting to realize how important that children need to be schooled or cared for or, all of these things in place. Piaget, Kolb, and many recent famous philosophers share all of this research. Special needs are best identified in early stages, and they're better equipped to overcome their special needs if they're addressed at early ages. Parents raising their children in a home with families and stuff don't know all of the things to look for as far as what could or not be right with children. So they're making it more important to be investigating earlier years. So I just wanted to share how important early education is to our community, and it could be a lot of reasons why our community suffers in a larger extent at our school levels, at our testing levels, and at other things. So if we can, it's terrible to have lost the Head Start here, and to put something back around here, where, I don't know, the old Head Start building, maybe some rooms in here are available. I don't know what's available, but I wanted to put the awareness out there that there is a need. I'm always applying for jobs. I'd be happy to help wherever this goes, but again, if I do get a job, I'm still very happy to be an advocate for early childhood education in our community. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item 2, discussion and possible action regarding temporary beer and wine permit for the Big Bend Saltwater Classic. on June 18 through the 21st at the Moines. Do we have
All
anybody?
we have to do is we just need a motion to approve that.
That's all. I don't know if anybody's here to represent Saltwater.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
And I'll second it, just say for discussion that we generally do approve this every year.
Yes.
Do we have a motion and a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carried.
Thank you.
Discussion and possible action regarding the bid from PV and Son for the Avenue B resurfacing project.
Okay, this is the Avenue B from Marine Street to US 98, and then First Street from Avenue B to US 98, and then First Street north, 1 block north of US 98. The majority of that project falls within the CRA boundary. The CRA board did approve the portion of their bid. The portion that falls outside of the boundary would be the responsibility of the city. The portion of the bid from PV for that is $16,688.
That one little corner?
Yes.
That's double that.
The rest of the CRA is approved to pay for that.
Oh, I see.
We
Yeah.
discussed that, and it was CRAs, if a project is immediately adjacent, and it extends and it's immediately adjacent to the boundaries, then CRAs can reach out and finish the project. And that little section would not normally be something that the city would do on its own. That's part of the major CRA project. So we did
Okay.
motion to pay for that at $87,800, so the
Right.
CRA fund.
Which was put in the budget.
But you just said 16,000.
Well, that was the city portion, but I'm hearing that the CRA would cover that.
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
okay, so that fixes
That's
itself.
it, carried.
Yeah.
Should we motion as a commission to,
Well, the CRA's already,
yes, sir, we have a
they
motion
got
to,
their own money, so
yes, sir.
I don't think it takes a motion from the city.
Can I add, Innovia will be overseeing this project, this paving project?
Yes, we will. I would like to recommend that the work on the resurfacing begin after the completion of the landscape work in the triangle area.
That was my exact question, can we hold that off?
Absolutely.
And then Commissioner Williams, you've heard me ask this before, but I will ask it again. Please reserve any uncrushed or crushed mill, unused crushed mill for the city.
Okay.
That's what we want,
Okay.
as much crushed mill.
Okay. And I'll coordinate with where that needs to be stockpiled. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Approval of county attorney bill, attorney bills.
Well,
We're not gonna pay the county, are we?
unless you got a promotion, I'll motion to approve the attorney bills.
Okay, have a motion,
I'll second that.
and have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. I guess that motion would include the CRA's at $880?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Have a motion?
I'll second that.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna have that done before you, or you're gonna wait to do it after?
Riverfront is
April 20.
I've got my parliamentary quick reference.
resurfacing.